Hey!
Yes! Boom!
My colors match your clothes today, my shoes.
Yeah, I had to do black shoes, I see. Then it would have been
Would have been
completely
an interesting
perfect.
match, huh?
But I have some black on the shoes. Wow!
Good. So first of all, congratulations all of you by following our new Twitter
Yes,
channel.
yes, that's what you have to do now. Because
I wanted to have 1,000, so I figured let's put up some promotions, some potential promotions. Let's see if we can hit 1,000. But I just looked. I think we're close to 1,300 already.
wow.
So they delivered. Let's see if we can put some extra surprise. If before the end of the call we have 2,500.
2,500.
Oh, but then
and where
really...
do we end up then in the rankings? We
I
go
have
up
no
like
clue.
crazy, I think.
I have no clue where we end up, but something really special in mind. But then let's say around 8:30.
Yes.
We should have 2,500, but then people should send out some messages during the call.
Ah, yeah, because you have to work now, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
While
working
you
call.
listen, you have to send out the messages, otherwise we don't make it on time.
2,500, only 1,200 to go. So if you could just start with 1,300 already during the day, then 1,200 extra.
Yeah, and that means that all the 1,300 only have to find one other one.
Easy peasy.
Now, let's go for it. Let's go for that.
So the Twitter channel is DSF Community, which means we will put it in a group as well, but you can go there. We put it already in the groups today, but it will be good if everybody does it again.
Yeah.
And everybody one more, and then we're there. Tomorrow is the big day.
Yeah, because, hey,
The relaunch of Forex Insiders platform
yes.
means that we rebuild it completely from scratch, gives opportunity to experts to be added and also add their strategies into our platform. There's a lot more tools and education coming, more traders coming, more functionality coming.
Wow.
So
More money coming to you, hey.
also true. So tomorrow we have the launch, but it doesn't mean that this is the only thing that you're gonna see. You will see a lot of improvements and additions, and
This is the beginning.
in the next few weeks, actually, a lot of things will happen already.
Wow.
So, and of course, that goes the same with the US launch. So they had the business fee launch, as we call it, about 10 days ago. But tomorrow will be the product launch. So they're excited because we already have a product, so we wait. But at the same time, we have another product, so we can continue working. But they're working, but they don't have a product. So no product means no volume, means no commission. So you can imagine that all the teams that started, and I know that many of you already recruited people in the US, starting tomorrow, they can start to make volume and therefore commissions.
So tomorrow we will have new irons, new bronzes. We will have
Instantly.
silvers,
Instantly.
golds,
Yep.
platinums. We will have topazes,
Yep. Maybe even sapphires, maybe rubies,
maybe rubies.
maybe emeralds.
You never know. Maybe diamond. Maybe tomorrow comes the first diamond.
Anything is possible these days.
Hey, hey.
But it's going pretty well. So we have been working also on the events. You will see some information on that in the following weeks. We're working on the cruise. We're working on the next event on this side of the ocean, another event on the other side of the ocean.
Wow.
Maybe even a leadership retreat is coming up. So there's a lot of work. We're already working on the Dubai event next year, actually. So a lot of great things about to be announced soon.
Ooh, let's see what dreams may come, ladies and gentlemen.
So then today is the last day again that for this month or this period at least, Greg is going to be live here. Because next time on the global call he's going to be back in the US.
Aye. When he's going to fly back this week?
I think Friday.
Wow.
Yep.
Always the Friday, then he has the weekend off. Yes, I can imagine.
He always needs
Back
the
to the
weekend
family.
to just rest a little bit from the European trip.
He doesn't need to get in shape anymore because the man has his shape. He's transformed. He's like a transformer. In the last year, you know, he's creating a Hulk.
Yeah.
He's
And of
one
course, when
the-
you come back from the Netherlands, you need to stay home for a while just to
Yeah.
recover a little bit from the sunburn.
From the sunburn, the pizzas, the pastas, hey.
So,
I don't know.
Greg, are you ready?
Are you ready?
I am always
Eh?
All right. What's happening, my friends and family in the Success Factory world? I hope you guys are having a great Sunday wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Whatever you were doing, obviously you stopped to participate in this as we do week after week. And, you know, as I said last week, kind of what this is and isn't. And I like to always remind us, because it's the time of the week where we get to just stop and rest and recalibrate. Everything rests at a certain point. You know, throughout the day, the sun comes up and it goes down, and it brings us to a point of pause where we stop and we let our bodies shut down and let our minds just rest and so forth. And that is true of business. That's true of the cycles of business. It's true of the cycles of life. It's always there. And so what I love about Sundays and what I love about the Global Call is that opportunity to just come back and recalibrate and rethink. And, you know, we try to do as many meaningful, memorable, operational things on these calls as we possibly can, with updates and training ideas. But also, I like to bring certain words to life. I live in a world of words. There are 5 love languages. There's a book that I read many years ago, and one of the 5 love languages is words of affirmation. And when I read and did the testing of the kind of human being that I am, it really is around words of affirmation. Words are so important because they communicate so effectively the intent and the actual meaning that you're trying to convey. And so for me, words are a crucial part of conversation and a crucial part of the way that we communicate. There are so many words to choose from. Choosing our words wisely is a very important thing, because they can be misunderstood or they can deliver right at the point that you're trying to make. And it allows people to draw closer to you or make decisions about what you're trying to say. But what I wanted to do was bring to life a word for you. And the word is vulnerability. Vulnerability. And what I love about this word is that it has dual meanings. Like, some people don't want to be vulnerable. Vulnerable means that for some people that we're at risk, right? And actually vulnerability has 3 meanings, right? So the way you define this is there is several words. Uncertainty, right? Vulnerability has some uncertainty. If you're certain of something, you're not vulnerable. But if you're uncertain, there's a possible vulnerability to that. The other word that comes with this is the word risk. Okay? So when we take a risk, we are allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, because we don't necessarily know what the outcome of the risk that we take is. We're uncertain, right? The other one is this one, and this is the one that kills it for most people. It's emotional exposure. Now, here's the challenge. When we are emotionally exposed, we are confronting our own ego. Here's the problem. If we are not willing to be vulnerable, then what happens is we are stepping into our own ego to protect ourselves from uncertainty, from the risk of failing or miscommunicating or being emotionally exposed. So here's what I'll tell you. Never, ever in your life have you been brave or courageous. Never, ever have you been brave or courageous without the willingness to be vulnerable. Think about it. You never started a business. You never went into a relationship. You never stepped onto a football field, played tennis, played golf, done anything where you needed to win, where you did not allow yourself a little bit of vulnerability. This is fundamentally a word that is required to be a winner in network marketing. You have to willingly, intentionally put yourself into a state and a place of vulnerability, or you're living in ego and you're living in delusion and you're living in a place where you feel safe, but it's a small world. See, winning and success in life is outside of the little box that's in your head. And the more you stretch beyond that, the more willingness you have to be vulnerable, the more uncertainty you have to face and confront with yourself, the more risk you have to take for yourself, and the more you will be emotionally exposed. But as you do that, as you expose your emotional vulnerability, you actually grow. This is the great paradox, the great dichotomy. The more you put yourself into vulnerability, the stronger you become. It's such a weird concept. But that leads me to the next word that I wanted to share with you. That word is courage. Now, courage is what we like to think of ourselves as courageous, right? We like to think that we went out and we started our Success Factory business and man, were we courageous. We like to think that. Maybe we were, maybe we just needed to. There could be all kinds of things. But here's the deal. Either way, it doesn't matter because you were willing to be vulnerable, to take the risk, to be emotionally exposed to the people that will be critics and give you all the reasons why you're crazy to do what you're doing, all the reasons that it's a scam or that it's a pyramid scheme or some other nonsensical, ridiculous thing that people say and believe, but you don't because I don't, right? So here's the deal. This is a place where you have to be willing to expose yourself, but you also have to be courageous. And courage, here's the thing, courage is not the absence of fear. It is not the absence of fear, but it is the triumph over it. See, here's the thing. Courage is a beautiful thing to step into, but to step into courage, you have to be vulnerable, you have to be brave, and it's not the absence of fear. Fear absolutely exists for all of us. Never kid yourself. You will be fearful. You will not want to do the things that you need to do when you need to do them all the time. It's just not real. So you therefore have to make yourself courageous and vulnerable. And it's not the absence of fear, but you need to look fear in the face and say, screw you, fear. I'm going to triumph over you and I'm going to win the day and I'm going to do it. So that is what courage is. It's fear hanging on a little bit longer. And here's the thing. For whatever reason you started this business, for whatever reason you decided you were going to build a big team, maybe you're dreaming of big houses and cars and trips and money and legacy and everything else. So what I believe is that you are this person right here, right? This is you. And you dream of a much bigger you with a bigger life and a bigger possibility. So here's what you have to have. You have to have this brain of mental toughness. You have to go in and say, I will be courageous, I will be vulnerable, I will be brave. And you have to have a wild heart. Look at me when I say that, a wild heart. You have to have a wild heart for the wildness of being alone, standing on your own, taking the doubts, taking the critics, and marking yourself with the courage of being in the wilderness, being alone. Because here's the thing, you're not, in this business, you're not alone. You're with a bunch of people who are comfortable with the process of having to do this and build it alone. Anything you've ever done, I don't care what it is, anything that you have ever done of any worth, you had to do alone. Now you joined a community that will support you of like-minded and loving and caring people for sure, whatever that was. But whatever you had to do that was of any worth, you had to do it alone. You had to engage your wild heart and your mental toughness and move yourself into that bigger you. Now, I have a couple of little tricky things as I was doing this when I was younger. I had a vision of myself, of being a bigger person. And I had to be super courageous because I was young, I had no skills. It was 1985, I was knocking on doors in California, and I was terrible at it, and I was trying to make money, and I was terrible at it. But I also had a wife and a little baby that had to be fed, and so I had no choice but to make it happen. So I was this little guy with a big wild heart and mental toughness, and I just worked my way through it. I told myself things over and over again, quotes and messages, and I listened to Zig Ziglar and Dennis Waitley and Norman Vincent Peale and Think and Grow Rich and Maxwell Maltz and all of these people from those times, which are still relevant today. But I really had to put myself in a place where my brain was being overwritten by my brain, if you understand what I'm saying. I had negative talk, doubt talk, fear talk, vulnerability, ego talk, scared of having my emotional exposure in front of everybody, but yet I still had no choice because I had a bigger, more transcendent goal, which was to feed my family and feed my kids and all of that. And so I had this reality, my little reality, but I had this big dream and I had to engage my wild heart. So I'd have to say to myself, because I was nervous, scared, frustrated, sad, I would go home and I would cry. Like it was so frustrating to not make sales, to knock on doors all day and have straight up rejection all the time. So I used to have to say to myself, I am peaceful, patient, and calm. I literally had to say these words over and over again. I am peaceful, patient, and calm. And here's a magic trick I'm going to tell you. Literally, saying the word calm calms your central nervous system. That is a neuroscientific fact. So, to remind myself that I was peaceful, slowed my breath down. That I was patient, slowed my anticipation down. And that I was calm, slowed my central nervous system down. I literally would have to say that all the time. The other thing that I would do is I had to be happy because I'd come off of a door, I'd come out of a sale that I didn't make or whatever, and I'd be sad, I'd be all twisted in my brain like, man, I failed. I really suck at this. This is terrible. So I would have to say the following, and I would say, you're awesome. You're awesome. You're awesome. You're awesome, dude. You're awesome. Now, to this very day, 40 years later, I kid you not, even before last Saturday, Super Saturday, before Kayan and I had our Super Saturday, I went up to him and I said, you're awesome, you're awesome, you're awesome, you're awesome. And I made him smile, and he did the same thing to me. And I do that in the mirror before I take a phone call, an important one, or if I do a call like this, I go in the bathroom. These people know that are here. They see me disappear for a little bit, and I just go in the mirror. And even if it's quiet, or if I have to say it to myself, I go, you're awesome, you're awesome, you're awesome, you're awesome. And then I make myself smile because it sets my central nervous system into focus and into clear remembering that I actually am awesome, that for 40 years I have overcome my nervousness and my failure, and I've reprogrammed my brain, and I am awesome because I decided I was awesome because I've been this little guy and I wanted to become this big guy. And I allowed my wild heart to mark my big wild heart so that I could live a life that other people can't live because I program, and that is the name of the game. These calls, I can't really do a lot of one-on-one training, but one thing I can do is I can insert into your brain the little tricks that get me through every day, that can get you through every day, that work, and they work beautifully. Because here's the deal. Here's the deal. This business is very difficult, right? In 2,500 years ago, Aristotle, who was a great Greek philosopher, actually coined what was called the artistic truths. And they're called ethos, pathos, and logos. Now, ethos is what you might think. It's ethics, it's values. We have core values, right? We have our 5 core values. You all know them by now. I'm sure that you do, right? So it's integrity, innovation, integrity, innovation, freedom, contribution, and leadership. So those are our 5 core values. They are the ethos that make up our business. Now, ethos is one. So the purpose of Aristotle's commentary here is that these were modes of persuasion, is what he called them. Modes of persuasion. Because he was an orator. He was a speaker. And he needed to figure out what is it that he was doing and saying that was actually making a difference in communication. You're an orator. You're a speaker. You speak about the dream of Success Factory. So you have to actually appeal to all of these elements. Ethos, the values in another human being, the ethics that they have, the morals, right? Pathos is the emotions, right? What are their emotions? And you have to appeal to another human being's emotions because people make decisions emotionally. All decisions are made emotionally. And logos are logic, basically logic in words. So you have to actually communicate to a person's brain, their emotions, which is their gut, and their ethics, which is their decision about the morals that they are willing to live by. Those make up how you persuade another human being. But there are 5 elements to this. These 3 are one. The other one is called agora. Agora means the space. Now here's the thing. If you think about this, if you're trying to communicate with a large group, but you're in a tiny space, the space actually has a negative effect on your conversation, because people might get hot and they're pushed together and all of that. So literally you have to manage the space that people are in. And another word for agora is the arena, right? So here's the thing. These modes of persuasion are really in place to help you so that you can play to win. And here's the other thing. When I said about vulnerability and courage, you have to have the vulnerability and the courage to walk into the space, to walk into the arena. Understand, you know, if you think about the Roman Colosseum or one of the Greek amphitheaters, I mean, they had different purposes for their space, but there are amphitheaters and colosseums all over the European world and in other places as well that are really there, that are center space that brings humans together to receive ethics, emotion, and logic and entertainment, which is in the space. So this is the agora. But there's another one. The other one is called kairos. And kairos is the one that's not known to most people. But yet it turns out in startup businesses and in your business, it's the one. You didn't know it. You got to have good morals. You got to have good emotions. You got to have good words and logic. Got to have a good space to tell the story in. But here's the one that does the deal. It's timing. This is the timeliness. Kairos means timing. So here's the scoop. If you want to go into the arena, which I hope you do, and be vulnerable and be courageous and play to win, you are going to walk in here and there's going to be all kinds of people in here. Some rooting for you, some rooting against you, some who are critics, right? Critics distribute shame, scarcity, and comparison, right? And you do it to yourself. You invite shame. Shame is a human reaction. We all have it. But we distribute it as a way to get it off of us onto other people. But shame is a low vibration, low energy, low productivity activity. So that is one of the critics that will have a seat in the space in here. You just need to know it. So you need to reserve some seats for those critics in a place in the arena where they don't have that much impact on you, right? And then there's the critic of scarcity. Oh, there's not enough for me. Wrong. Switch to abundance. Switch to the cheerleading section of abundance. There's so much out there there's 8 billion people on the planet who don't know what to do. Go get yourself 1,000 of them and you'll be a millionaire. It's just that simple. That's a small fraction, right? So, and then there's comparison. Comparison's that deadliest of thieves. It comes into your life and it steals joy. It's you got what you got because you work to get what you get. And once you get it, you need to appreciate it. And if you don't appreciate it because you're looking over at social media and somebody else has a bigger, better, shinier thing, and now yours doesn't look that good, that's a mistake. That's a mental mistake. You're literally criticizing yourself and belittling the activities that have gotten you there. Your life is a step by step by step by step approach. There'll always be somebody bigger than you. There'll always be somebody richer than you, always somebody more successful than you. Live your life. Love your life. Love what you do. Bring others on that journey. You're not impatient about others coming up. Why are you impatient about you? Like, enjoy you and be courageous to go into the arena. It's not that you won't care about what people think. It's silly to say, I don't care what people think of me. It really is silly to say that because we all do. But here's the thing. So it's okay. Like if you say, I don't care what other people think of me, the problem I have with that is when you stop allowing your ability to connect with other people, you lose the capacity to create connection by what other people think. It's just a matter of who is giving you that information, what they're thinking, and whether you value that or not. So don't lose the capacity to that. But here's the other thing. If you're defined by how other people think of you, then you lose the capacity to be vulnerable. Understand what I just said. I'll say it again. If you are defined by the way other people think of you, you lose the capacity to be vulnerable. And to be vulnerable is to be courageous. And to be courageous is to create a result in your life you wouldn't otherwise. I hope you understand what I just said, okay? Remember, ethos, ethics and values, pathos, emotions, logos, logic, agora, the space, and kairos, the timing. All right, so I'm all about philosophers right now. There was a Roman philosopher named Lucretius, and he said this: the drops of rain make a hole in the stone, not by violence, but by oft falling. So if you're going to go into the arena, you have to go all the time. You're not going to win every time. Accept it. Here's the thing. When you go into the arena, when you step into the arena, you better know that one of the consequences of stepping into the arena is you're going to get your ass kicked. You're going to get your butt into the arena. But you got to be okay with that, because it's okay. It is okay to lose. It is okay to get beaten sometimes and come back with power, come back with vengeance in your soul to win. That's a good thing, because that win is way more powerful than the first win. Trust me when I tell you. But do it often. The way that the water breaks into a stone is it's just constant drip, drip, drip. And before you know it, you've got a canyon, and then you've got a waterfall, and then you've got a river, and then you've got the Grand Canyon kind of a thing, right? So this is a really, really important thing. Now, when you don't do this, here's the risk. I'm going to drop this on you. This is called invisible to power. I literally could spend 2 hours teaching you from this chart right here, but I'm not going to do that. But just understand, when you're invisible in this business, when you first get started, or you start a new leg, or you start a new part of your business, you literally need to serve, and you need to show up and be seen. Just like going into the arena, part of the deal is just you got to show up. You got to make the decision. I'm going to show up and I'm going to be seen. Show up and be seen. And when you're invisible in a business, you got to show up and be seen, right? And then as soon as you do, you start to actually have some success, and you have to spend money and time to promote yourself and be seen. But you still have to show up, you still have to be seen, you still have to serve the process. Then when you get there, you start to hit normal operations, and now you don't change anything radically, but you're starting to see some success, your income's going up, and all of that. And then when that happens for a long enough time, patient enough time, then you hit affluence. And now the money is flowing to you, you can pay things off, and that's the real key, is pay off all your debt. Because as soon as you do that, you actually own your space, and now you move into a place called power. Now, I want to put another warning out there for everybody that's watching this. There's real danger as well as real excitement in these moments. The real excitement is that you are going to start living your dream. You're going to start being an example to the world in a way, and to your family in a way that you've never done before. The danger is when you disconnect from the things that got you here. If in this moment when you hit affluence, you just go out and spend more and put yourself into a, here's what happens. You immediately shoot to chaos, back into this erratic moment, right? And when you're in power, if you don't stay connected and stay servant as a servant leader, you shoot back into chaos. I know many leaders, big money earners, who disconnected from here, and they didn't show up to serve. They did not get to the place where they stayed curious about their business. Here's the word that ensures safety in these moments. So for you big leaders, this is the word. And for you smaller leaders that are coming up, remember this: always be curious. ABC, always be curious. Curiosity is a superpower. Curiosity keeps you asking questions. Curiosity keeps you learning. Curiosity increases your self-awareness while you're in these moments. And when you don't disconnect from the things that got you here when you were here, the same activities here should be the same ones here with a slightly different, slightly more beneficial, slightly more generous intent. Because here, you've got the money, and now you're replicating, you're helping others pop through this process. But if you disconnect from the things that got you here, you're making a grave mistake, and you will spend your life in chaos running up and down this chutes and ladder game. And it's stressful, and people end up losing everything. And this is a dangerous thing. So when you are getting into here, shore up and make decisions that are firm, and don't screw with it. Make it permanent, Pay off your debts and stay in the game. Never stop the things that got you there. Now I'm going to give you this last little cycle of success. This is the game that I've been playing my whole life, okay? It's called the cycle of success. Now, you can start anywhere and go everywhere. It doesn't really matter. But for me, you know, the thing that I think about is using the products and loving them and figuring them out, and then figuring out why I want this business and why I want these products in my life. When I'm clear about those two things, right? I'm clear about those two things first, then the rest is easy because it points me in the direction. All right, well, make a list of the people that I want in my world with me. Because now I can choose this because I freaking love these products and I know why I love them and I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, and no one can dissuade me from that. After that, the game is over for everybody else because the game is on for this guy right here, right? So now I make my list. I talk to all of them. I don't really care what they say because they're going to get my energy. They're going to get my excitement because I'm using the products and I know why I'm using them and I know why I'm doing it. So they're gonna get something. Then I just need to make sure I tell them a really good short story, that I have good, powerful, inviting language, that I work on my content on that, and then I connect and build, connect and build, connect and build, connect and build, teach, 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 duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. And this becomes how this circle keeps going. And then they become products of the product. They get their why, and on and on and on the circle goes until the money is so big in your account that you just don't know what to do with it. That you have to dream about bigger dreams than the biggest dreams you've ever dreamed. This is possible here. Anybody can say what they want about the network marketing industry, about this company. They can say all the things that they want, and I've read them all. And there are people that have their negative opinions. But I will say this: being in a community of people who understand this process, this beautiful process, and empower other people with this beautiful process, are the best people on this planet. They're not self-serving. You cannot win in this business until you help a bunch of other people win. And I don't know what would be a better scenario than that. This is truly a team effort. This is truly you gain individually by helping a large group of people come around. And listen, I don't care what critics say, because there are a million of them. They're everywhere. And here's what I'll say about this, because this is an important thing, and I even wrote it down. It's not the critic who counts. It's not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out where the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the person who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred with blood and sweat and dust, who at best, in the end, knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails daring greatly. Be willing to fail and dare greatly. Be willing to fail and not win, and be willing to fail until you do win, and show up and be seen and do it with the right attitude and do it with this kind of a cycle around you. And I promise you, you will win in ways that will make you proud and make your family happy and change the legacy of your life. And with that, I'm going to stop and I'm going to send it back to my boys here in Amsterdam.
Wow, wow, wow. I was actually sitting at the side and I was looking, and then, you know, sometimes you listen to a training and you listen to a training. You know the difference between listening to a training or getting completely into it. And you know, This was one of those trainings that I completely went into it. When I saw the arena, I thought, wow, that is, that's the habitat that I like. When he was talking about the leadership and how to do, and he was talking about the ethos and the pathos and the logos and the agora and the kairos, I was like, hallelujah, we are back into the times of the gladiators, my favorite. And you know what? A lot of things, and today it came, I think, honestly, this is the training that I like the most, And I'm so fortunately that I had the telephone in my hand, because I saw him going and I thought, I make a short 15 minutes, for the Instagram. I thought I make a short 15 minutes, and then I did another 15 minutes, and then I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to make a reel because I have a little bit more time. And actually, you guys see a beautiful studio around me, and I was looking straight. When you look at from my perspective, you don't get subtracted by this beautiful decor, but I saw it right in green, and it was really boom. Craig, thank you very much. I love this fighting spirit, and it all comes back. It doesn't matter what you did. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you achieved. It matters who you're going to become, and it matters what you're going to do. It doesn't matter if you are the biggest leader or the littlest one. You have equal chances, because when you go into that arena, make sure that you put everything what you have in you, because otherwise they carry you out. And it can be that you come out like this, but at least you come out walking. And in the gladiator times, it doesn't matter. When you are moving, you are alive. But when they carry you, hey, you lost the battle. In our business, the beauty is, it doesn't matter how many times you fall, but when you're able to stand up again and face the reality, go out of, was looking, and I saw the other sheet that he used about, I have to say it right, vulnerability. I love that word. And I was looking, I think I live my entire life like that, because the moment that something becomes comfortable, I'm moving out and I'm going into an area where, again, I have to face whatever sort of uncomfortable realities. Wow, Craig, thank you very much. It was a true inspiration, and I'm happy that I was here when you were doing it here. So, let's go for the next one, because we have another superstar. Jason, are you there? Are you back from vacation? Are you back from one of those beautiful Caribbean islands? Or from one of those skis? Where are you, my friend?
I am back home.
Back home. Woo! The pirate is back from the Caribbean. Blackbird has entered mainland again. Wow, are you ready? I see you have a beautiful cap, the white cap, with the beautiful Forex Insiders logos. Let's go. Let's get it, because, hey, Craig just mastered the game. So we are all, and I know the two of you are like magnets and motivational explosions. So now let's go for it. And you are in white too. I see you are in white.
Hey. All right, so off we go. So I'm back home. It was good to be away, but it's also good to be back on the call, be back with all of you. And I think that Roald gave an update at the beginning. I heard part of it, and then the audio disappeared. So I missed all of Craig's audio training, but I saw the visuals, so I can only imagine that it was unbelievable. But here in the United States, this first week, it was the first week that we went live in the United States with the business fee. And so everyone that was part of the pre-launch and was in the structure had the opportunity over the past week to either pay the business fee for the main account or upgrade to the business fee pro. And so we've had a strong first week of going live. The product hasn't gone live yet. The product will go live tomorrow. So I'm wearing the Forex Insiders hat in honor of Forex Insiders going live tomorrow in the United States, as well as a lot of new features will be coming out. The rebranding of Forex Insiders, the usability of the back office, and the app will go live tomorrow for everyone as well. And so we've got great leaders that are being attracted into the United States from all different kinds of teams, all different areas of the United States. And I think it's just the beginning. It's like I said, it's been a strong first week, but I'm excited to see what's about to happen over the next 6 to 9 months in this country of the United States. I think that it's one of the largest marketplaces in the world. It's one of the most competitive marketplaces in the world. And I think that anyone that's going to decide to come build in the United States is going to be rewarded greatly. There'll be a great harvest here in the United States by the time that the fall time comes around. It's the time of harvest. It's always in the fall, but it means you got to plant seeds all during the spring, and then you've got to go to work during the summertime. And then the fall time is for harvesting and making sure that you understand the timing of every single thing that's going on. The new Forex Insiders product will go live, like I said. If you haven't been paying attention to Forex Insiders, I think some of the past few weeks have been some of the greatest weeks for Forex Insiders. There has been a flurry of activity. If you see things that are happening in the world and you understand that there are geopolitical things happening around the world, if you understand inflation, if you understand the price of anything as it goes up, as the price of anything goes up, and in particular, as the price of living goes up, the price goes up, people to make money and to spend money. And it also represents an opportunity, right? Anytime that there's difficult times in the world, it always creates an opportunity. So when there's struggles globally in global economies, it means that there's always an opportunity in the money markets. If you understand what's going on, the great thing that I love about Forex Insiders is that you don't have to pay attention to everything, and you don't have to guess what's going on. You don't have to try to analyze everything that's going on. You don't have to try to figure out which currency get hit the hardest against another currency. Forex Insiders has created artificial intelligence and robots. And I know that you know the story, but I think that you need to re-examine the story and what it means for your ability to have your money go make money for you on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis. And like I said, the past few weeks, there has been a flurry of activity in Forex Insiders. I think I've seen more ideas come out in the past 2 to 3 weeks than we have at any other cumulative week period out there. For the last week alone, the past 7 days, there was 11 ideas that were published just in the last Monday through Friday. 7 of those ideas were winning ideas. 1 idea was a losing idea, and 3 ideas were canceled, right? So 7 were winners, 1 was losing, and 3 were canceled. So if you just take the winners and losers, that means that between the winners and losers, Forex Insiders had an 87% win rate, just if you're looking at winners and losers. If you also include the ones that were canceled, the 3 that were canceled, it still was a 67% win rate. And so you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to what's going on. You have to take a look at what products do we have that allow you not only to set yourself up for future revenue, to set yourself up for potential future value, but also what can you do today to make sure that every single day of every single week, when inflation is hitting people today, not in a year, not in 2 years, not in 3 years, not in 5 years, not in 10 years, not in 15 years, But as inflation hits the average person today, every single day of every single week of every single month, imagine having the ability to be able to show them a way to have their money go make more money for them. Imagine showing them a way how to drive for 5 and have a customer refer in 4 other customers and they have theirs free. Imagine for every 1 customer, you ended up getting 5. For every 1 customer, you end up getting 5 and you get a residual income on 4 of those. Imagine the opportunity to be able to do that. So when the Forex Insiders product goes live in the United States, we're actually encouraging people to take the first 30 to 60 days to make sure that you understand and open up a demo account so you can get familiar with how the product works. I always remember being taught by Robert Kiyosaki and always remembering about the ability to simulate the real thing until you go and do the live thing. Simulate the real thing before you go and do the real thing. Now, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to simulate it and use a demo account before doing it? It's pretty simple. It's because you don't want your real money at risk while you're learning the language of money. You don't want your real money at risk while you're learning the process of how to enter a trade. You don't want your real money at risk while you're learning how to enter a trade. You don't want your real money at risk while you're learning how to initially configure one brokerage account into a MetaTrader account and making sure that you're looking at the Forex Insiders information and entering it properly. It's to reduce human error. It's to gain experience. It's to build a muscle. It's to build a belief. It's to build a habit. It's to recognize that when an idea comes out, to make sure you activate on it, right? And then you just let it go to work for you, right? And then after that, in the United States, we've also created a great new presentation, which you'll all be able to see. Created a great new Fast Start program, a great new 1-page overview of how to give the presentation from 1 page and be able to tell the story in a very, very simple way. Now, tomorrow night, we'll be hosting a call in the United States. So if you have people in the United States and you want them to hear an overview of myself and Roald tomorrow night, we can provide the link for you. Also this week, when the product goes live, it means the volume can start getting created inside of the teams inside of the United States. So from April 11th, all volume can get created when the product goes live, meaning that the first commissions being paid out in the United States will be on Monday, April 18th. So the first time commissions will get paid out in the United States is Monday, April 18th. So we're already off and running. If you're in the United States and you start to get commissions, you'll have the opportunity to register with a company called PayQuicker, which is our commissions partner in the United States. And the cool thing about this company in the United States is that anyone that's going to receive commissions will receive this awesome branded Success Factory Visa debit card, which means that your commissions will get loaded straight onto a Visa debit card for you. It'll also go into a business checking account for you, which means you have the opportunity, once your account gets set up, to set it up as a business. And there's a whole host of reasons why you'll want your commissions paid to you through a business. You'll see down at the bottom, it says business account. Business account. There's a reason why you'd want to get paid as a business. The predominant reason is because it reduces your taxes, right? You have the opportunity to deduct certain things off of a business account that you sometimes have a challenge deducting off of a personal account. Why does that make sense? It makes sense because, as I've always said, it's people have a hard time making money, but they have an even harder time keeping it, right? So if we can show people how to make money and we can get them into a Visa debit card with a business account associated to it, it means that they have the opportunity to learn how to keep more of their money. And so I'm excited about what's happening in the United States. This company is also allowing us the opportunity to look at possible scenarios to be able to replicate this. If this goes well in the United States, it's a possible great opportunity, a great chance that we may be able to start doing things around the world. And so I'm excited about the opportunity to do that. Now, let me shift gears and just teach you something that became re-familiar to me this week while I was on vacation, right? So I spent a week down at the beach, my favorite place to go. And I love to just recharge at a beach. It just, for me, it fills up my soul, fills up my spirit. It allows me to be in a place of gratitude. It also allows me the opportunity to sit and observe other people. It allows me the opportunity to listen into other conversations with people that I know or other people that are down there on vacation. There's a lot of business people down there on vacation. There's a lot of business people that take this week off and go and hang out. And I just like to listen. And I just like to tune in to where their conversations are. And I like to tune in if the conversations are more positive or if the conversations are more negative. And what's shocking to me is that most people are having negative conversations about what is happening in the world. Most people are having negative conversations around what's happening in their relationships. Most people are having negative conversations around money, around what they know, and around the opportunities that are being presented to them over the next year or 2 years. People are confused. People are in a state of chaos. It looked like Craig was walking through how you go from invisible to power, and there's a spot in there that's called chaos. And people are in a state of chaos because people lack the ability to make the right decisions for their life. People lack the ability to make the right decisions for their life. And it's oftentimes because they look at things the wrong way. They think that some things are more costly than others, and they usually have it backwards, right? They usually have it backwards. So for example, if you wanted to get into business and you wanted to start a business, you'd start thinking about what are the primary costs associated to running a business. And if I were to walk up and down the beach, and if I were to talk to all these different entrepreneurs or people in business or people that were looking to start a business, and if I were to ask them, hey, what is the number one cost that you have in your life? What is the number one cost in business? What's the number one cost to your business? And most people will probably say, well, it's probably money. It would cost me money to start the business. It would cost me money to do these sorts of things. And it would cost me money to travel. It would cost me money to create a brand. It would cost me money to create a product. It would cost me money to hire a team. It would cost money, cost money, cost money, cost money. And while that has some truth to it, that it does cost money to get into business, it's one of the great reasons why I love Success Factor. What is the cost to get into business? And Success Factor, for everywhere else in the world, it's 25 euros. In the United States, it's $50, right? $50 US to get into business. If you decide to be in a business fee pro and you decide to have 3 income centers and have the opportunity to create multiple income centers, multiple spots of distribution for you, much like a franchise, the ability to open up multiple stores all the way up to 9 additional income centers. You'd pay a whopping 99 euros in the rest of the world. You'd pay $125 in the United States. So we're talking about 3 figures, right? The lowest part of 3 figures to start a business. We're talking about 3 figures to start a business, right? $100 to start a business that has some of the products in some of the biggest marketplaces in the world in foreign exchange, and one of the fastest growing marketplaces in the world in virtual reality, right? Imagine trying to start a business in either one of those 2 industries, and imagine how much money it would cost you to do it. And here we're talking about $25 or $50 or 99 euros or 125 euros. I am shocked oftentimes and left speechless oftentimes at how many people are not being recruited to Success Factory. When the world is collapsing, when economies are going down, when people don't know how to make money, when people don't know how to keep money, and they sure as heck don't know how to multiply it, here we come along with an opportunity at $25 or $50 or 99 euros or 125 euros to show them how to get into business in 2 of the biggest industries on the planet, and instantaneously have the opportunity to build a global business without it costing you any more money. Is unbelievable. The size of the opportunity against the size of the challenge and the problem in the world. I think we ought to be recruiting tens of 20 to 50,000 people a month, 100,000 people a month. There's that many people, I believe, that are hungry and looking for something. It's always in times of darkness. It's always in times of downturn. It's always in times of trouble is when opportunity and entrepreneurs and the majority of wealth is always created. It's always created when the masses of people are going down, the people that understand how to create the future, people that understand how to go do something, people that understand how to make a decision, people that understand how to recruit, and they understand how to build, and they understand how to teach people, and they understand how to lead people, and they understand how to influence leaders and empower leaders. to go out and amass armies of people to be able to go out there. But you have to understand a couple of costs to your business. So there's 4 costs, right? So I started with saying that most people think that it's money, but that's not the number one cost to you in this business. That's not the number one cost to you in this business. The number one cost to you in this business, in my experience, is your energy. The number one cost to you, in my experience in business, is your energy. So for example, wherever energy flows, it will always flow to the least line of resistance, right? Energy will always flow to the least line of resistance because energy is always flowing. So for example, if you took a river, a young raging river, the young river that's raging that has all this power has the ability to cut through the rock and carve a straight path. But if you've ever looked at a river, an old river from above, an aerial view, you would see that it looks more like this. You would see that it meanders, right? If you were to look at an old river from an aerial view, you would recognize that it's just meandering and it has twists and turns. And the reason for that is the water, the energy from the water is trying to find the least line of resistance to continue moving, right? It's going to try to find the least line of resistance to continue moving. And so the same thing is true for you. You have to be very careful with your energy. You have to be very careful with where your attention goes. There goes your energy, right? So if your attention is going anywhere outside of people, outside of your team, outside of recruiting and building, outside of developing leaders, if it's going to external things or external noise or external attractive things or things that can consume you or take you down the right road, your energy is being dissipated, which means that it's costing you. It's costing you enormous value. It's costing you all kinds of energy, right? Because it's everywhere except where it needs to be, right? So you need to be careful with your energy. You need to focus your energy. You need to rest your energy. You need to pay attention to your energy. You need to pay attention as your energy. Are you putting out more positive energy or are you putting out more negative energy? Do you interpret things more positively or do you interpret things more negatively? When you look at things online, do you interpret it through a positive lens or through a negative energy lens? What is the way that you are developing it? What is the way that you're trying to do it? Is it more positive or is it more negative, right? Is it more positive or is it more negative, right? So that's what you have to focus on. The second cost to you, after your energy, the second cost is the space that it creates, right? So the second cost is the space that it creates, right? So the second cost is space, right? So when you put energy into something, right, it creates a space for you, right? When you put energy into something, it creates a space for you. In business, it's called business, right? So if you're not putting your energy, if you're here to build a success factory business, but your energy is everywhere else, it means that all of your energy is going to a different space. It may be going to a space called does it go into the space called Success Factory? And when it goes into the space called Success Factory, are you intentional about it? Are you intentional about the energy that you put in? Are you intentional about your business, about the size of your business? Are you growing your business? How many affiliates do you have? How many members do you have? How many people have the Business Fee Pro? How many of your affiliates also have a customer, right? How many of your affiliates are a customer? When you do get a customer, are they a repeat customer? You know, I also understand that a customer is not a create residual, create passive income. Why would you want to exude energy to create a space called business and have to reuse your energy every single month to generate the same level of revenue every single month. It shouldn't work that way. It should work the opposite way. You ought to be able to put energy into a space, into a business called Success Factory, and that the more that the time goes on, the more that your revenue ought to go up, the more your earned income ought to go up, the more your passive income ought to go up, right? Because you're more effective and you're more efficient with the things that you're doing. When you're building a space called Success Factory, are you building it more based off of a product, or are you building it more based off of people? Are you more focused on growing leaders or just selling a product? There's a big difference. There's a big difference in the amount of energy you have to exude. There's a big difference in the size of a business that you can create. You see, I think you need to focus. In my experience, you should focus your energy on building a space around the world with as many people as possible, and move them through a path from learner to leader, from leader to influencer, from influencer to empower. You can always move a product through that distribution channel, but there's zero distribution channel if there's zero people, right? Which means that you ought to focus your energy and your time and your space and your intent on building one of the largest businesses possible, is in many countries as possible. Why? Because you never know what's going to happen in the future. You never know what's going to happen geopolitically. You never know what's going to happen with war. You never know what's going to happen with inflation. You never know what's going to happen with one currency versus another currency. But the one thing I can guarantee you is if you have an army of people that are built up as leaders, you will find a product or you'll find a way to distribute the product. But if you don't have a distribution of people, you'll never make product. You'll always be exuding energy. You'll always be trying to create a space called business. You'll always be waking up tired, frustrated, anxious, confused, worried, fearful. You'll never have the peace of mind of knowing to say, you know what? I know no matter what's going to happen, I've done all the work. I've created what I've needed to create. I've made money. I've kept money. I've multiplied my money. I have earned income. I have passive income. I have portfolio income, right? I've got cash flow. I've got profit flow. I've got wealth flow. But you've got to be a good steward of your energy. You've got to be a good steward of the space that you're creating, the business you're creating. The third cost, right? The third cost of your business is your time, right? Is your time, right? So if you're not focused, right, on your energy, if you're not paying attention to it, your energy, and if you're not paying attention to your energy, then the space that you're creating called business isn't going to be that big of a business. It's going to be a small little business. But if you're focused with your energy and you know the type of space, the type of business you're creating, it will take you less time to build a bigger business. It will take you less time to build a bigger business. The problem is with most people never recognize their energy, never pay attention to it, meaning that it goes everywhere. They never pay attention to the size of the space they're creating, which means it takes them an enormous amount of time to make the amount of money this month that they made last month. Sometimes it takes them more time, right? Imagine that. Sometimes it takes you more time to create the same amount of money that you made last month or the month before or the month before. So you've got to be a good steward of your time. You got to ask yourself, when I'm using my time, when I'm investing my time into something, right? I'm paying attention to my energy. I'm paying attention to the space I'm creating. And then when I put my time into it, am I effective and am I efficient with my time, right? Am I effective and am I efficient with my time, or am I a waster of time? Or am I inefficient with my time? Do I waste energy with my time? Is my conversations meaningless? Are my conversations everywhere, or are my conversations very specific? Are my conversations like a walking general, like everybody? Or are my conversations like a meaningful, specific, like a sniper bullet, like a howitzer hitting my target every single time? Or when I communicate, do I just communicate into randomness, into the netherland of not knowing exactly what I'm saying or what I'm communicating, and just hope that you would buy whatever it is I'm trying to sell? I think right now is the time to pay attention to your energy, pay attention to your space, and really pay attention to the amount of time it takes you to create the same amount of passive income month after month, to create the same amount or growing amount of your portfolio income and your earned income. You've got to pay attention to how much time it's taking you to create the same amount of revenue. And then number 4, if you're not careful, this is when money comes into play, right? So this is the 4th cost to you and your business. Number 2 is space, number 3 is time, and then number 4 is money, right? Is money. Do you spend more money than you earn, right? Do you spend more money than you earn? Are you wasteful with your money? Do you know that money is also a form of energy, right? Money is meant to flow. That's why it's called cash flow. But money, just like energy, always flows to the least line of resistance. It always flows to the least line of resistance. Are you putting up resistance to your ability to attract money? Right? Are you putting up resistance to your ability to attract money and do the things that you need to do? Right? Where is it going? Where is your money you make? Do you allow your money to go make more money for you? Is money moving away from you, or is money moving towards you? Every single day, every single hour, every single minute, is money moving away from you, or is money moving towards you? Right? Towards you or away from you? Is it coming into you? Is it coming towards you like an asset, or is it going away from you like a liability? Unfortunately, for most people, it moves away from them at a much faster pace than it moves towards them. And then in order to get money to move towards them, they have to exude enormous amounts of energy. They have to go out there in enormous big spaces, and they have to spend a lot of time to get this money to move towards them. You ought to learn how to create a system, a business, a process, a team, leaders, influencers, empowered people that know how to communicate with precision, that understand our products, that leverage our products, that allows you the time, the opportunity to attract money in an easy way, to grow money in an easy way, to have more of it come towards you on a monthly basis at a higher pace every single month than it goes away from you. I think it's time that you pay attention to your energy. I think it's time that you pay attention to your space that you create. I think it's time you pay attention to the time that you spend trying to create money and trying to keep money and trying to multiply money. I think it's time that you pay attention to the way that money moves and recognizing that money is energy and money flows. And just like energy, it flows to the least line of resistance. I love the ability to create businesses. I love the ability to have my money go create more money for me. I love cash flow. I love profit flow. I love wealth flow. But the reason I love it, the reason I love the principles, the reason why I learn the process, the reason why I learn the system, the reason why I stay committed to investing, the reason why I stay dedicated to it, the reason why I have long-term perspective on it is because I love the opportunity to spend less energy to create more wealth. And I think that everyone deserves to know what that feels like. You deserve to know what that feels like for you and your family. You deserve to know what that feels like to teach other people how to do that. You deserve to know what it feels like to have a shot at chasing your destiny. I believe that all of you have enormous talents to offer to the world. I think the world is waiting. I think the world is hurting. I think that people are looking for something. I think that people are confused. I think that people are in chaos. I think that people would love an opportunity to get into business for a low amount with some of the best products that are out there. Some of the biggest industries in the world, some of the fastest growing industries in the world, and who knows what the products are that are coming. But I do know this: the ones that know how to communicate, the ones that know how to recruit, the ones that know how to build, the ones that know how to teach, the ones that know how to mentor, the ones that know how to stay committed, the ones that know how to get into the fight, the ones that know how to chase after their destiny, to be committed to it, to fight for it with everything they've got, the ones that pay attention to their energy, the ones that pay attention to the size of their business, the ones that pay attention to how much time it takes, and the ones that pay attention to the flow of money either towards them or away from them are the ones that are going to ultimately win today, this week, this month, this quarter, next year, the year after, the year after, the year after, the year after. Don't let your energy go every single place that it could go. Make it go where you want it to go. Make it go to you and your family and your team. You deserve it. You deserve to chase after your dreams. You deserve to chase after your destiny. Always ride the wave of life. and always play big. And with that, I'll turn it back over to the Netherlands, Amsterdam, A-Town, the boys in the studio, while I sit here in Atlanta.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, oh, what happened? What
That was like
happened?
magic.
Yeah, that's magic.
That
Hey.
was magic in the air. Wow.
We went
Where
from
did we end up?
we went from Greentown back to the studio.
I had the idea that I was in other space at once.
Now people know that maybe the studio is a little bit different behind us.
Yes, when you were fast enough and you paid attention, then you saw exactly what we see.
Oh, there's a delay.
Wow.
Maybe we can do something about it. Can we put the website offline? We have maybe 10 seconds.
Yes.
So,
how is
thank
it
you,
with
Jason.
the Twitter?
I got some questions for people if you can also show the backside of the car, but I said not a good idea, but
And if you could put a passport copy towards it with your
and smile.
with a notification of a bill that you have on the address where you live, so that everybody could use it.
But
No
I think
problem.
it's
I'm
it's
happy to be like Santa Claus.
I think it's a beautiful step forward, and it's
Wow.
it's something new. And of course, we plan to bring this all around the world and have those debit cards of Success Factory from Visa in every hand of every affiliate all around the world.
I'm looking forward that we have them too, Roald.
I don't know.
I can try to sign up, but I don't have an American address yet.
Oh, then you have to go find one.
That would not be that difficult, I think. It's easy doable, you know.
We had the Twitter promotion in
Hey!
the morning.
And I have a new Twitter account.
So we have one more
Yes.
follower. I was working behind the scenes to get also one more.
Hey, I signed up for it, you know. He was recruiting me like crazy. Where's your Twitter account? I said to him, I don't even know what it is.
Because I like to lead by example. In the beginning of the call we said, if everybody that is following the Twitter channel of Success Factory right now gets one more, then we double. I did my part.
Yeah, and then I went to Andrea and she had a Twitter account, but she was not a follower. So I made her follow it.
So we have two more. So now the rest of the 1300 do the
Yes.
same, and we have another special promotion.
Yeah, Daniel, did you recruit somebody for the Twitter account? Many. He did already
Did
many.
you make Greg follow, or maybe Stan can follow?
Yes. Guys, did you follow already?
Hey guys, did you follow? Twitter channel, Success Factory.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it. We get to 2,500. I said tonight at 12 o'clock, but you know what? I'm in a good mood. We do tomorrow night, 12 o'clock. If we have 2,500 followers, we'll add another promotion on top of the one that we are going to announce right now.
Hey, another promotion. Boom, boom, hakalaka, boom, boom.
Maybe I do
I
even
love-
another promotion if we double again then, but let's see where we go.
I like this. Okay, let's
see
go
how many
for it.
times we can double.
Yeah, but you said as well that we would do a promotion when we hit the 1,000.
And we have promotions, so I pick the units, you pick the regions.
Wow, that's a great thing, ladies and gentlemen, because there's coming something spectacular, isn't it?
There is, so triple the units.
Triple the units. Triple the units.
Did you memorize them?
Yes.
Number one.
Yes. The Netherlands.
The Netherlands, oh.
The Netherlands, because the Netherlands was not in promotion for so long time.
I don't think it was ever in the triple unit promotion.
Never. And that it was in the double was only in the beginning. Later on, never anymore. So,
And because we did the Netherlands, we also wanted to have sort of a home from somebody else. So
Yeah.
that leads us to?
yeah, and that is because I was today, I think it was Craig's finest day. This was such a beautiful, I'm looking again to vulnerability, uncertainty, risk, emotion, exposure. I'm excited. So I thought, because I remembered, Craig told me when we talked about Connecticut that he is originally coming from there, and he gives me some advice and some lessons about it. So, in honor to Craig for today,
Wow, in honor to Greg.
Connecticut.
We did New York. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
We brought
Connecticut.
in Connecticut, and that's a great one, you know, because that's, you know what I will do? To honor those two countries, On Wednesday, I will do another
Wow.
Zoom call. I will do a special view Zoom call.
Why the
and I will lift out
And
the
why Connecticut?
Netherlands and Connecticut.
Nice.
Why? You must have that. 6 o'clock, I start with the average presentation. 7 o'clock, I take Connecticut. 7:30, 8 o'clock, I take. So you, when
If
you
he ends with Netherlands, then probably until midnight.
you know, but you know, when you have seen the first part, you can log in for the second part. I do it.
Beautiful.
Otherwise, people say he goes on and on with their training. No, I only do 3 trainings behind each other.
And then
and
a
we
beautiful
have 3 more.
movie, cartoon movie
Ooh.
for the next region.
Yes. Yeah, what do we have? We have Madagascar. We have Madagascar. And we have one of the richest regions, like I showed you, the top 10. And we have a Middle East region that is in there and that is actually
lot of
extremely successful. Rich people, a lot of money to be spent. Kuwait.
IT likes to play around, so we have to switch to this one.
We have to switch to that one. That's good. Let me look at that one. Okay.
So which one was
Hello,
So
camera number 3.
Which one was it?
Huh? Kuwait,
Kuwait, Madagascar, the Netherlands,
Connecticut, and we have one more.
Yes, I know.
Yes, we have one more because
One more.
Hey, the captain of Ajax comes from there. Hey, and they are going to the World Cup in Qatar, and they are not, you know, they have a chance because these guys are really good in playing football, but they are really good in playing tennis also, because the was all time is coming from that country, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes. So we thought, you know, that region in the Balkan is Serbia.
And this is mostly the top 5 regions with the most sold out, almost sold out, and some other regions that are ranking pretty high.
Honestly, actually, the Kuwait, the Madagascar, and Serbia are 1, 2, and 3 closest to be sold out. So tomorrow, I know all of you, you get the commissions. Make sure that you are ahead of the game, because it could be that when you wait too long, like you missed out.
It's already live right now. Dashboard of the view right now. You will see those 5 regions with triple the units
They
already.
are already live.
Yes, it's magic. You snap with your fingers. It's Apple Watch.
It was so difficult in the past, and it's now modern communication. You did wonders over here. Wow. So hey guys, take advantage.
And this is on top of the 9 that we selected last week. The 3 from the category of 125 to 50 and 500. They're actually running till the end of the month.
Yeah.
But this promotion is only 1 week, which means next Sunday, 8:30. So after the global call, we stop it.
Hasta la vista, that means it's over.
But maybe if we keep on doubling during the week, maybe we come up with an extension, maybe we come up with something else. Let's see what happens.
The first 3 are sold out. Kuwait is gone. Madagascar is gone. Serbia possibly.
So let's say that happens tomorrow night, then, and tomorrow night we also have 2,500 followers, then we can actually bring in 3 new ones already.
Tomorrow already?
Tomorrow. We could combine those. But if they are sold out tomorrow, but we don't have the 2,500 followers,
then we don't do it.
We only have 2 till the rest of the week.
Okay, then we do 2. Good.
Okay.
Wow, excellent.
It's not so difficult.
Hey.
Every Twitter follower finds 1 more. I did my part. Igor did his part.
Yes.
So it's up to you.
And I expect from the big leaders, and you can decide if you are a big leader or not, that you at least do 5, okay? When you're a COC member.
Ooh, 25.
I wanted to do easy for them 10, but hey, 25, come on. But then we are already there.
Then we're already there. So this is a good moment. We don't want to take more time from them.
Because they need to go back.
Let's get everybody on the stage.
Yes.
Like you know, this is a real stage, so be careful. Daniel. Andrea.
Let's get everybody here. Let's go for it.
Wow.
Chew.
Strength and honor. It's all about you.